All right, hello and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, an iHeartMedia podcast. This is Moose along with Mays and Matthews as we inch ever closer to the end of golf's regular season and into the FedEx Cup playoffs. We are driven by Mall Chevrolet. We'll talk a little bit more about them later. And of course, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. We will talk a lot about them when we see the line because there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of money to be made. There typically aren't a lot of swings at the end of the year. It's only 2 or 3 guys that move in or out. It seems like there could be a lot more happening. So we'll see. But right now we are going to take it back home, take it back to Philadelphia. And in my opinion, one of the biggest stories in Philadelphia golf in the past decade. And there's been a lot of stories about it, right? It's been what's going on? Is it happening? Is it not happening?
Rumors.
COVID hits, rumors. So we're going straight to Ben Dewan, the golf course superintendent of Cobbs Creek, to find out all the answers. Ben, welcome to Swing It and Ding It.
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So let's start now, right? And then we'll kind of look back a little bit and then we'll look ahead to the future. But so last week or 2 weeks ago when we had our golf outing, you guys had a big day. It was the groundbreaking ceremony to really get things underway. Talk to us about that point, and what really the timeline and the plans are.
Yeah, it was an exciting day for us. It's obviously, like you mentioned, it's been a long time coming. There's been stories and ideas out there for over 10 years, and to finally be at the point where we were sticking shovels in the ground was huge. We had a lot of people there. We had over 250 to help celebrate. A lot of people to thank, from politicians to Parks and Rec to the original people who 14 years ago threw this crazy idea out to go back to the original routing. And it's exciting to actually have our first project underway, which is building the reservoir.
Well, now that you've officially broken ground and you're working on the reservoir, is there any way that you could tell us when approximately this might be completed now that you've officially started?
Yeah, there's a lot of phases to this project. It's so this year we broke ground on the reservoir, and later this year we'll get started on the education center and the driving range building. Next year we'll begin the creek restoration and the building of the short course and the actual driving range field. And then 2025, we're looking to build the 27-hole golf course with a grand opening in 2026. But there's pieces that will open before that.
Well, Jeff, there's several phases to this that you just walked us through, but talk to us about how you got here, the history of the course, everything that took us up to the point we're at today.
Yeah, so when Cobbs Creek opened in 1916, it was the best public course in the country. It was originally designed by Hugh Wilson, the same architect who did Marion, as well as other famous architects, George Crump, A.W. Tillinghast, George Thomas, William Flynn. It's pretty cool, the group of that Philadelphia School of Architecture that was here helping out.
Yeah.
And over the years, like any public course, it had its ebbs and flows. Actually, in the 50s, it lost probably about a 13 to 20 acre portion of the property that the government took back to create an anti-aircraft artillery base. And that caused the golf course to be rerouted and some holes to change. So part of the plan with the restoration is to go back to that original 1916 routing that they first had.
So you talked about those names, and they're huge names in architecture. And I think in 100 years from now, when people hear the names like Gil Hansen and Mr. Wagner, and also Tiger Woods have some inclusion in it. So I mean, you are just adding to the lineage of people that have touched this place. And I think that's what really people are taking, just excitement to kind of see. Talk about how you transition from, the folks that laid the groundwork to the guys now that are going to take over and try to bring it to life.
Yeah, we mentioned all the old famous architects, and right now you don't get any bigger than Jim and Gil. What they do is remarkable. It seems like every week when you turn on the event, especially a major, it's recently renovated by Gil and Jim. So to be able to partner with them is incredible. And then to have the TGR Foundation developing the education center and the short course is just huge. I don't think you could come up with a better group to partner with. to create some excitement and what should be a great project for the city of Philly.
So there's going to be 27 holes and then a 9-hole short course in addition to that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Correct.
out of that 27 holes, the idea is to get 18 of them in a composite routing to possibly hold some sort of tournament or a PGA Tour event, correct?
Yeah, that would be the ultimate
Ideal.
goal.
Yes,
exactly.
Right.
If all goes well, we will have the capability to host the tour event.
Wow.
We'll have the old course, the original 18. Karakung used to be 18. That's going to drop down to 9. But within that routing, we'll have 18 holes that we're able to push the distance pretty far to help host a tournament.
That's awesome. That's been an ongoing topic that we talk about on the pod all the time. How do we get a PGA Tour tournament to Philly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be fingers crossed.
So Ben, talk a little bit about your history in the game. Your kind of golf journey. What brought you to this point? Some of your recent history.
Yeah, so I grew up with a father who landscaped and kind of always helped him around the yard doing work on his jobs. And I originally went to school to be a math major. And that first summer after college, I got a job on a golf course, never really thinking that it was a career option, but just fell in love with it. Decided to switch majors, started doing internships. I worked at Irondequoit up in Rochester, Pikewood National in West Virginia, and then was lucky enough to go work for Paul Latshaw at Muirfield Village out in Ohio. And with him, had the opportunity to come to Marion right before the renovation there, and just was able to meet Gil and Jim and heard about this great project at Cobbs Creek and kind of started nipping at their heels to help me get involved somehow. And met the right people, Chris Lang, Chris McGuire, Jeff Shanahan, and was lucky enough to be offered this opportunity to be part of an absolute game changer.
Tremendous.
How soon? Go ahead, Danielle.
Well, Ben, you were saying an absolute game changer. What has been the coolest part of this process so far?
Just the team we have in place and how much excitement there is from the team we have, and then just people pulling in the lot every day. When's it opening? I used to play here. I can't wait to bring my kids here, my grandkids. It's just that level of excitement and seeing the impact that we're already having in the schools. We have Maria Stroop runs a lot of our education programming right now, and she's just this month, she's had 4 weeks of camps. And to think that we're going to be able to do this in this beautiful, brand new 30,000 square foot education center, along with all the golfing benefits, is just really, really cool.
How did the whole Tiger Woods Foundation get associated with or interested in, and even really, know about what was, going on and what was, the vision of Cobbs Creek? How did they get involved?
That's probably a better question for the higher ups. I wasn't really involved with that, but I think just our missions aligning, the fact that we can give back through the game of golf, the opportunity to do STEM-based learning, and really try to create some positive change for kids and give them an opportunity to learn the game of golf, that extra boost of education, scholarships.
I believe they have something
kind of easy to get involved.
Yeah. I think, don't they have something similar to that down at East Lake in Atlanta where they've done similar things?
They do. Yes. Yeah. That's another place that we've kind of looked at to see how they're programming, what kind of, caddy programs are running, education programs, getting kids involved in the golf course operations as well as the educational.
Ben, talk about the course itself, right? You're talking about going back to the original routing,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that the bones of the course and even some of the way that the creeks connect to some other pretty famous places and courses. Like, just talk about the land itself.
Oh, the land itself is just amazing. To find 375 acres of this type of rolling topography in the city of Philadelphia. I mean, that's unheard of. It's up, down. It's truly what they call gravity golf. You don't really need a lot of bumpers because the hills are just take it and go. There's a couple holes that run right next to each other, both play to the top of the hill, but one plays 50 yards longer. So you're hitting from the bottom of the hill up on your second compared to the top of the hill to the green. It's just little stuff like that. And then you mentioned Cobbs Creek coming through. There's 3 holes in a row that you got to carry water to get to the green. Like, that's just treacherous.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Is there any way that golf architect nerds like some of us and some people listening to this podcast can get a look at this golf course, or is it too early for that?
It's fun to walk around. There's some really cool vistas opened up. It is overgrown. It's crazy how quickly Mother Nature can take over a place after it's been closed for only a couple of years. But if you have an architecture eye and study it, you'll be able to see some pretty cool things that we're planning.
So when is it slated that they come in and start moving dirt?
So the short course will start next year. That's the big dirt moving for the golf course. They're moving dirt right now for the reservoir. And then this September, October-ish timeline is when you'll see some action start to happen on the buildings. And hopefully next year when you drive by, you'll see framing and siding going up.
Tremendous.
Awesome.
Make sure you head to cobbscreek.org, find out all the information. Ben, follow on social, right? Is that the best way to kind of keep up to date with any kind of changes or updates?
Yeah, definitely the Cobbs Creek Twitter handle and then the Cobbs Creek Instagram.
We need like a live camera like they had on the I-95.
Like our guy Billy Kyle who did the drone for us.
Right.
Yeah, I got a good drone guy.
That would be
Ben, let me know
cool.
if you need him.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. Right now I'm flying it and I'm not very good. So I could use all the help I can get.
Well, Ben, listen, we really appreciate some time today. It was fun to talk about this. We're really excited about it. Anything we can do to help along the way, please use us as a resource. We're here because, we're really, really excited to see how this all comes out, man.
Awesome. I really appreciate you having me and helping spread the word about the project.
You got it. Thanks,
Thank you,
Ben. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, and welcome back to Swing It and Ding It. Long time coming talking to the folks at Cobbs Creek. We had, was it the Walnut Lane guy? Like, I remember talking to someone in the very beginning about this, and that was, maybe it was pre-COVID. I don't even remember, but it seems like it's been, a long time. But to see that actual ceremony, last week was tremendous.
Yeah, because, nothing in the city of Philadelphia gets done easily. So there was a lot of hurdles that they had to get over. And I think it was just like when they thought they were getting close, here's something else that they got to do. And now to know that they finally got shovels in the ground and they're starting to work on, like he said, the reservoir is the first piece of this thing. Now it looks like, they should hopefully, knock wood, have smooth sailing and we can get this golf course open on or about 2026, 2027.
Yeah. And it's cool because it sounds like there's not a lot that they need to do to the golf course other than get it in shape. And obviously there's a lot, but I mean, like, they don't need to build in hills and build in all this stuff. Like he said, the natural topography is just tremendous there.
Yeah, they'll have some clearing to do, but it's not like they're taking a piece of forest and have to clear out all the trees to make room for the holes. A lot of it's pretty much already there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Yep. Excited to follow along.
I'll tell you, when they redid some of the holes at the 1912 Club, I was able to watch a lot of that. And I sat there for about an hour one day. It was in the winter because they did it in the off season. And I'm freezing. I was drinking a bourbon, and I'm standing out in the middle of what is now the 8th fairway. And I'm watching this guy in a bulldozer all by himself, nobody else there. And he's just clear and going back and forth and shaping. He would start, and you could start to see after like a day, wow, I can visualize there's the green and here's where it's going to go down into a bunker. Like the way they shape the land with a bulldozer, those guys are amazing.
So that's like one of the coolest parts. Yeah, like I was just saying,
Dan,
I was going to Jonathan's Landing watching that, and even the difference in a week, like you go down there and you're like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
there's the fairway. I see it coming in. Like, it's pretty cool. I think that was the coolest part of the process and watching the course being built out.
Yeah, we'll have to get some boots on and go over to Cobbs Creek one
Yeah.
day and take a walk.
Do a
Wear
little
a hard
hike.
hat. You
Yeah.
know?
I'll do a little hiking over
Yeah,
there. I think that'd be cool
absolutely.
to check it out. Yeah. Well, back to the PGA Tour though, because how about a wire-to-wire winner with a 7-stroke win? I mean,
Yeah.
Tell me anyone was expecting that, right? There's just no way. But
No.
kudos to Lee Hodges, gets his first win, 67 on Sunday. He shot 63, 64, 66, 67. I'm glad this wasn't a 5 or 6 day tournament. It seemed like losing, almost went to the high 60s if you could imagine.
I
But
think he had the 54-hole record and then the 72-hole scoring record, both 20 under and then 24 under. And he ends up winning by 7. He had a 3-shot lead going into the final hole. I mean, it was some craziness on that final 72nd hole.
Yeah, JT Poston needed a 7 on 18 to win 850,000, and he got an 8 took away 590,000, so $260,000 loss.
Yep.
But he was quoted as saying he's not out here for second place. 10 out of 10 times I would go for it again.
Yeah,
I was just pulling it up. Yeah,
yeah.
He made the right call. I mean, he had a tough lie. It was a downhill lie, towards the water, and he had to hit like a hybrid or some sort of utility type club, and he got real close. It banged off that rock, and then it hit the 3M sign that's laying in the pond, and then it finally went to the water. But what I was amazed in is I'm still thinking he's going to get second by himself, because all he's got to do now, play his third shot, in and 2, out in 3, put in his 4th shot down the fairway, get on in 5, and two putt for a 7, and he has second all by himself. He came up short on the approach and hit a really weak putt. I thought he would chip it because there was a good bit of fringe or apron to go through. And sometimes, that depending on which way that's growing, that'll really just kill the ball. And it did. And it left him with like a 6 or 7 footer, it looked like, and he missed it.
It'd be funny, like those signs down that they put out in the middle of the water. Some of them are kind of sturdy. What if the ball landed on it? Could a guy swim out and climb up and hit it from it, or what?
Yeah,
it's still in the hazard. So what are you going to do?
Is that technically OB? Like,
I think it's still a hazard. You still got to take a drop no matter what, right?
Yeah.
paying it off the Mall Chevrolet sign out there.
Yeah, getting a little boat and go out there.
That would be amazing to see. I'll tell you that much. Anyone else, like you see, Tony Finau had a T7, right? It was kind of like a strange, like up and down leaderboard throughout the weekend, and
your guy Grigio did nice.
He did.
He was top 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Everyone's kind of watching JT again to see, what's going to be going on with him.
Well, which JT? The real JT's JT Poston now. He's hot.
Postman.
Yeah, the postman.
No, but Justin
a lot of people
Thomas,
like him this week.
I think Harry's going to start getting annoyed with JT because we're getting as much coverage on JT as we used to on. I mean, I just watched Golf Channel prior to tuning in here, and there was like an hour special on JT and how he's
really
make or break with the FedEx Cup points this week.
Well, he needs to finish in the top 15 this week to get inside the top 70. He's currently 79th.
Solo 18 will get him in with no help.
Solo 18
or better, yeah.
All right.
Last stand for FedEx Cup points, regular season boy Austin Eckrat is right on the bubble.
He's number 70 right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he 70? I thought he was 71. Is he
70? He's 70. Adam Scott is another name. He's outside 80. He's been playing well this year. I can't understand how he's outside the top 70. He needs like a 2-way tie for 9th or better to get in. Kevin Streelman, who had a good week this past week, he's number 84. He needs a solo 7th or better to get in. You got guys like Billy Horschel. He needs to win the tournament. He's like 116.
Yeah. You talked about Lowry. Did you talk about Lowry?
No, I didn't. But I can't believe he's had so many top 25s this year, and yet he's still outside the top 76.
He needs a 2-way tie for 23 or a solo 3rd place with no help. So a lot of implications for this for sure.
Oh yeah, Steve Sands his head is going to explode on at like 5 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. He's going to be saying somebody moved, inside the bubble. Like it matters on Thursday. This only matters on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I want to talk real quick about our friends over at the AGS Tour, Amateur Golf Society Tour. We haven't talked to them in a little bit, and It's been going off incredibly well. Anyone I know that plays in it absolutely loves it. And they have prorated second half discount memberships now. So if you go on and use code second half 20 for $20 off any membership tier. So there's still tons of golf to play. The second half leaderboards are underway. The golfer with the most points earned during the second half of the competition, which starts this week, wins a 3-night stay at the Embassy Suites by Hilton Aruba Resort, which is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And they have like their majors, their third round of majors are coming up, rounds of majors, the week of 8/21, including our boy Chill Moody's Nice Things Invitational presented by Cadillac at Honeybrook.
That's a great spot.
Yep. And the PHL Date Night Invitational at Pennsauken, and it's also at Bayside in Delaware. And winners of each net flight and all the events receive an exclusive Bettinardi AGS Gold putter cover. Check out their socials. It's really, really cool looking. So,
wow.
Yeah, make sure you check those guys out.
So they're just starting the second half. So
yeah.
when does it end? Like how many more weeks?
I think it goes into the early fall. I'm not sure the actual end date. And then they do some stuff in the wintertime at 5-iron. So it's something you can kind of really stay involved with, throughout the year, which is tremendous.
So the code is second half 20.
Yep.
For $20 off any membership.
2ND is the second half 20. Yeah, check it out, man.
Awesome.
A lot of fun to be had out there. And let's take a quick break and we will be right back. All righty, welcome back to Swing It and Ding It. If you saw on our social media today, by the way, the amazing head cover for Mr. Russell Hartung, the long drive champion of our event, arrived from the Dormy Workshop, and man, is it a beauty. A beauty. I shipped that out to him, and I also shipped you guys your Swing It and Ding It head covers as well today. So excited for you.
Can't wait to get that.
Yeah. Wait, I'm excited.
I took the Titleist out of the bag, put the Callaway back in as far as the driver. That's why I've got the Callaway hat on today.
Okay.
Kevin Martin will be happy to hear that.
Wow.
But I'm anxious to put that Swing It and Ding It head cover right over that Callaway Epic.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And then I have my Bethpage little run coming up on Wednesday. Bethpage Black with Greenie. I have to clear out my bag because I think you have to carry. I don't know if they have caddies at the time we're playing. So I'm excited and nervous.
Yep. Well, anytime you play any place, cool, with history or just, tradition, just a place where you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm here. You're going to be nervous. I was shaking literally, Jeff, like a leaf on the first tee, the first time of the 2 times that I played. Was fortunate enough to play at Pine Valley. So I know exactly how you're going to feel, but it'll be worth it.
It sure will. Sure will. But yeah, as we mentioned, we move into the final event of the regular season, the Wyndham Championship. Again, we're going from where it was 125 guys, now 70 guys. We talked a little bit about some of the guys that are kind of on the bubble. Talked about Austin Eckroat, who's got that last spot. And then we talked about some of the big names, Lowry, JT, Adam Scott, right, who were all trying to work their way in. We're out at Sedgefield Country Club in Greensboro, North Carolina. Harry Mays, the course, of course. Tell us about this place.
Yeah, this is a Donald Ross design. I mean, this place, this is one of the oldest tour stops, by the way, on the PGA Tour. It debuted 85 years ago as the Greater Greensboro Open. I believe that's 1938 for those that can do some math. Sam Snead is an 8-time winner of this golf tournament. Now, they ended up moving it for about, I think, 30 years over to Forest Oaks, and that's when I went to it. I was at the GGO 2 times during the years that I lived down in North Carolina. It was a super fun event. One day I followed John Daly for the entire day, and that was the day. I mean, we were really close to him the whole time, and that was the day that I noticed he had the greatest hand-to-mouth habit known to man. He had a can of Diet Coke in his right hand at all times, M&Ms and cigarettes. And as soon as he'd have a shot, the caddy would hand him his club. He'd put the Coke down, take the shot, cigarette back up in his mouth, Diet Coke, all the way down the fairway. It was something to see. That was at the GGO. It's now, of course, the Wyndham, and 7,000 yards. It's just over 7,000 yards. So it's not a big ballpark. It's, iron players, approach is really the key. The greens are unbelievable. You get above the hole, you're good luck. Because it's Donald Ross. So that it's all about the greens. They're Bermuda, and the closing hole stretch is really cool. Once they cross the road from the par 3 12th, there's the par 4 13th hole is a blind tee shot, and they take it right up the caddy path. At dog legs left, par 4. 14 is a bear of a hole, 500 plus yards, dog leg left, kind of uphill, par 4. There's a par 5 15th, which is not hard for these guys to get there in 2, but it's hard for them to hold the green in 2, coming in with longer clubs. It's a challenging hole. The par 3 16th is where they have the beach, like the Wyndham beach. You'll see this little water, the pond, and everybody hanging out in the sand and on some Adirondack chairs or whatever. 17th par 4. 18's a killer. That's the 500 plus yard par 4, kind of a downhill and then uphill. There's a hazard that bisects the fairway, and it's an uphill second shot to a really great green. It usually provides for a lot of drama, but a great old school classic golf course. And it's usually hot, sticky, and really, it's typical North Carolina, like August temperatures. And the number 70 is going to be mentioned how many times this weekend on these broadcasts, Moose? What's the over under for the number 70?
50.
Right. So Steve Sands will have that done by end of round 1.
Over is a lock.
Yes.
And Danielle, if you survive this storm, you'll be heading up there, and you'll be able to maybe get us some pictures and videos from the course, right?
I will be. I'm not sure. I apologize. My internet connection's a little off today. We have typical Florida weather. Harry, you're just talking about the weather up there. So hopefully I'll get a couple degrees relief by going a little further north. But yeah, right. I'm taking a late flight up there tomorrow. So I'll be up. I'll get there in Greensboro around 10:30 tomorrow. So I'll be able to put some stuff up on the Instagram and show you, some of those holes that Harry just highlighted, what they look like.
Nice. Love it. Love it. So 7 of the last 12 winners finished 12th or better the prior year. And also of the last 12, only 2 finished outside of the top 15 in driving accuracy. You talked about that, Harry.
Yeah.
Right. So, as we see the line here, get ready to see the line with our friends at DraftKings, just some things to think about.
Yep. And one of the more accurate drivers just withdrew a few hours ago, Keith Mitchell. Right. He won't be wouldn't have been wearing cashmere in that heat anyway, but Cashmere Keith is out. So
did they say why he withdrew?
No, I don't know. Hopefully it's, nothing serious, not an injury or anything like that, but he withdrew.
Lee Hodges withdrew too, right? I think.
Yeah, I think so. Good. When you move from 74th to 33rd in the FedEx Cup with a win, I don't think you really need to play this.
And have a phone call with Nick Saban from the bar after the round too. Right. Did you see that?
How cool is that?
That was a cool video. Cool.
Yeah.
It is. And then also, if you guys saw the Brian Harmon video of him arriving in Sea Island with Harris English out there and like his whole friends and family, was really cool.
Right.
Oh no, I'll have to look that up. I didn't see that one yet.
Somebody put a Coors Light in the jug for him. He drank it right on the spot. So
beautiful.
Pretty cool. Yeah, good stuff. So we're going to see the line, and we talk about our friends at DraftKings, and you guys know from tee to green, the best place to go to get in on all the action happening on the links is DraftKings Sportsbook. This week, new customers will receive an odds boost to add plus 1,000 to any pre-tournament wager up to $10 on any golfer to win. DraftKings will be featuring parlays and odds boost all tournament long, so be sure to check the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day before the tournament starts to see what they have in store. Talked about some of the guys really high on the board. Obviously, Matsuyama, Sanjay, who's had success here. I like Denny McCarthy. We've talked about him a lot. He's got 6 top 10s. He missed the cut last year, but he's been 15th, 9th, and 22nd here. So he knows, he knows how to play this event. So I'm really going to keep my eye on him. But everyone else, make sure you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code DING and boost your odds during this weekend's tournament. That's DING, D-I-N-G, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 800-522-4700 on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Harry Mace, how do you see the line here, buddy?
Well, last week I took a very hot player and he missed the cut. Sepp Straka. So this is what happens to me all season long. So I'm going to put this out there right now. I hate to do it to the real JT.
He's going to mush somebody. Danielle.
JT Poston is probably going to be slamming his trunk on Friday evening because I'm taking him in my one and done. He is, this will be his 5th week in a row of playing. So I'm thinking he might be out of gas. Who knows? But he's plus 400 in a top 10. He's a previous winner here. He's playing great golf. So I'll go with him and see what happens. A guy that a lot of people are probably going to jump on is Sungjae Im.
Yeah.
But he has not been better than top 20, tied for 20th in his last 9 starts. That's a slump for a guy like him.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Siwoo Kim is a guy I'm taking, plus 2,500. He has 4 top 5s, including a win at this event.
My
Loves
ADHD,
this golf course.
let me not say shaking that ass. I can't. It said it 10 times in my head. I'm like, I got to just say it.
And I'm going to take Shane Lowry plus 275 in a top 10. He needs to get inside the top 70. We talked about him a few minutes ago. I'll take him. And the matchups were not out yet. I don't know if you're seeing anything right now, Moose, but
I didn't see it. No, actually, I looked for them. They weren't up.
It's a little early for the matchups. I guess they'll be out.
Yeah,
tomorrow,
we're recording a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is maybe we'll put them out on the Twitter feed. You know?
Yeah. I was going to take, and Daniel, I wanted to ask you, some of our guys, right? Eric Cole, who I kind of like, Austin Eckroat, right? There's some of the guys that we have been on, and future guest Denny McCarthy, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are not just, some guys are not going to be able to play their way into this, but they're going to play their way into having a good final, tournament and really setting themselves up for next year. Do you get that sentiment from some of the guys? Like, this is big, like the last tournament of the year is pretty big.
I think so. I mean, Kevin Roy, who's been on the pod, he played with B last week. And, I saw him, where was I just at? Oh, in Tahoe. Like, I saw him before he was going out. He's a group behind us. And he's like, unless like I win, he's like, so I'm just going out and just trying to play golf. And I think Lee Hodges is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
He just, he was a rookie last year. And he said at the end, he was just like, I'm going to go out and just play as free as possible. And look, he won by how many last week? He's like, if I can just keep that thought process and be playing this free, I think it's going to be great. So I think there's a mixed bag with the rookies and the stress and the level of stress that they're feeling heading into this. But hopefully they can just kind of stay free and, hope for a top 5.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I mentioned, I like Denny. That number actually got a little worse. It was 35. Now it's 3,000. But Aaron Rye at 4,000. I like Eric Cole in a top 5 at plus 1,400, and Vincent Norman in a top 10 at plus 700, playing really good golf.
Yeah,
I was going to take Sunjay as a first round leader at 4,000, just thinking he might jump out and then kind of fizzle out. But we'll see. Maybe you might have talked me out of that one. I'm not sure.
No, don't let me talk you out of anything. My matchups have been pretty good, but my one and done has been horrible, just horrifying.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the first of a couple recap videos that are from our golf outing? Our guy Mike Powers is on with us now, and his team from Give Us a Shot Network.
I thought that was awesome. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, and I finally got a chance to catch up on my text. I was like, this is great. I sent it to Gabby. She's like, I can't have a camera on me. I look ridiculous.
She's always good with the camera on her. She's always camera ready.
Yeah. But I thought it was great, the recap of everything. But you're just talking about Powers. I just started following them on TikTok, and I saw him fall back over the sign and over the divot box.
The divot box. Yeah.
That made it into the Fox Sports The Gambler recap video, which is a version of ours, just a little bit different with more coverage from Crucker and those guys, which was so cool.
So funny. Such a great event that we had.
I was with people at a charity outing for the Magical Mila Foundation, which was incredible. They raised almost $65,000 at this event at Maynard's. They're almost up to $500,000 raised for things that are going directly back to help people. So tremendous. But everyone I talked to that was there was blown away by the event and the course, you know. So it was really cool just to talk to everybody about it, And obviously Harry Malchevy was a big part of our day out there, as they continue to be. So let's hear a word from Malchevy.
Well, yeah, for 8 years in a row now, Mall Chevrolet has been South Jersey's #1 Chevy dealer. Now, this could be because they treat their customers exactly right. That's why Mall Chevy was voted a top 100 dealer in the entire country for customer satisfaction. But we still think it's because of that motto. It's so simple. We sell Chevys for less. Find your perfect drive at Mall Chevrolet. Visit Mall Chevrolet on Haddonfield Road, right in Cherry Hill, across from the Cherry Hill Mall, or online at mallchevy.com. Find your perfect drive at Mall Chevrolet.
Tremendous. Good stuff. Thanks again to Ben Dewan. Make sure you're following along at Cobbs Creek. Exciting story for the city of Philadelphia. And everyone else will be back to recap and see what the playoff picture shakes out to be. Take care.